There's a movie that I've been wanting to share with you for the longest time. I first saw this, well, it's going to be almost 2 years ago, this coming February. I saw it by surprise. It was just something that came up when I was on HBO Max. I was in the DC hub, and this movie just appeared on the screen, The Losers. And I believe the image that I saw might have been the one that you're going to see at the very end of the slideshow as it cycles around, where it's showing the comic book version of them, maybe what the cover looked like. I'm not exactly sure, because this is based on a comic book or a graphic novel, something like that. I'd never heard of it. I didn't really even know who was in it, because when I looked at it, the thumbnail, on the screen, I couldn't quite tell who these people were, because as you see the angle they're standing at, you can't exactly, I didn't know. And so I started playing it. Oh, okay, let's see what this is about. And boy, was I in for a pleasant surprise with this movie. And so when I had finished watching it, I was thinking to myself, I need to do a review for this. So I created a folder, I downloaded all these images, and then I just never did the review and would forget about it. Then I would remember, and then I would be kind of like, oh, doggone it, I'd like to do this review, but then it's been so long since I've seen it, I've forgotten some stuff. Well, I rewatched it today with my son, because this happens to be a 2010 movie. And so the next live stream movie discussion we're going to continue on with the whole format of talking about movies from certain years. We're now in the 2010s. After that, we'll do other types of live streams, but this was in preparation for 2010. And watching this for a second time, I'm just reminded again of how much fun this movie is. I go into it, it's about this group of soldiers or something. They're on a mission. Something terrible happens. They then have to play dead. They have to make it look like they died. And so the rest of the film is them trying to resolve that situation. I'm not going to go into too many spoilery moments, but Jason Patric plays the bad guy. He was hilarious in here. Some of the stuff he did and said was so crazy. And something else that I wasn't expecting when I watched it and had forgotten a little bit by the time I watched it a second time was how many comedic moments are in here. And not necessarily goofy, ridiculous comedic moments, but just situational and the interaction of the characters. And when I first started playing it, it starts off and I'm seeing, oh, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Oh, okay. Oh, Chris Evans. Oh, Idris Elba. What the heck? Oh, Jason Patric? Zoe Saldana? All these people are in this movie? What the heck? It's just, and it was just, and then other people that I recognize, like the henchman of Jason Patric. He played in Wrath of Man movie from last year. And it was almost like this was before a lot of these people, because several of them are now in the MCU, and it was like this was before they made that big leap into the public eye when it came to, well, I mean, people knew who they were, but what I mean is their popularity, it feels like their popularity exploded or got a bit more prominent when they became attached to the MCU. And so this feels like this was before all that, and just the acting in here, the chemistry between the characters, the actors. There are some things that happen at the end. There's like a mid-credits sort of scene, and that was fun. Ties back to something that had been referenced in the earlier part of the movie and throughout. Has something to do with Chris Evans' character. And this film was just, it was so fun. And I'm so glad that I found it. It made me so happy to watch it. It made me happy to rewatch it and get excited to talk about it with you guys. If you haven't seen it, Arturo had never heard of it, but that's not surprising. I hadn't either. I think my brothers had seen it, knew about it before I did. So, you know how you feel like you've uncovered this little gem and you're so excited about it, you're so happy? That's exactly how I feel about this particular movie. This was an unknown film, slipped right under my radar in 2010. You know, I watch many more movies than I have before. Though I've seen a lot of movies, but I'm actively watching them now specifically because I want to talk about them for my channel. And this one I just hadn't heard of. I don't even know if it was, I guess it was in theaters, but never saw a trailer for it, or if I did, I completely forgot about it. It just whoop, right on over my head. But yeah, this was a fun time. There are some moments in here that are a bit over the top and ridiculous with regard to certain things that happen. I think I have mentioned this before in some of my other videos, probably live stream, where there's a character who throws something somewhere and then another character that goes after it, and the chances of them actually being able to retrieve this particular thing is just like pretty much nil. Like, no, there's just no way. So, you know, it's like, yeah, okay. There are some moments like that, but in all honesty, just the entire package is so much fun. And these characters, and Chris Evans is so funny in here to me. And just the way they all work together, all the actors, they brought their stuff, you know, and it was so much fun. So because of that, it overcomes any sort of issue that might jump out at you as being so implausible and just ridiculous and over the top and all that. It made up for that. And so I cannot recommend this film highly enough if you like comic book type of movies. Nobody in here has superpowers. It's just these soldier guys, and they're really good with guns and fighting, and she's so awesome in here. I love Zoe Saldana. She was totally kick-ass in here. And the story of her character is kind of interesting. Now, you may foresee a lot of the things that end up being revealed as the story goes on, but this movie worked in so many ways for me, and I enjoyed it so much that I might actually buy a physical copy of it. We do have a digital copy of it. We got it on Vudu. I think we have it on Vudu. But anyway, it's available on HBO Max. If you guys have that, I don't know. It might be also available in other locations. I haven't checked Letterbox to see where else this can be found, but probably anywhere you can buy a digital movie or DVD, Blu-ray, or whatever. I'm sure you can pick this up. And yeah, if you haven't heard about it, check it out. If you have heard about it, but you just never really kind of felt like watching it, give it a go. Let me know what you think. I mean, I would hate it if you guys end up watching it and you think it sucks, but I think that most of you guys will be pretty entertained by it, and I just wanted to share it with you, and finally got that done. So glad I watched it today, because that really put the spark in me to go ahead and just do a review, talk about it. I haven't gone really in depth with regard to the storyline. It's there's no point, because I don't want to delve too much into it, spend too much time talking about it, but just to say that this is so much fun. Give it a try. Okay, that's it for this one, you guys. Bye. I think this might be the shortest movie review I've ever done. Okay, bye for real.